What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And yep, we've got another one. We're back in the garage. You can see my tools are out, the creeper is out, which means we've got something to work on. And it is Big Bird this time, and we will be fixing that chirp. That chirp started coming back and I got tired of listening to it, so I started tracking it down, and I think I found the issue. So if you guys have been watching the last few videos, we have been taking out the Gladiator and we've been wheeling that. Not just because I wanted to take the Gladiator out and test it and just have fun with the Gladiator, but because I think that I need to change a U-joint, and I don't want to be out there and get stranded because of something as silly as a U-joint. And I've never done it myself, to be honest with you guys. I got a couple quotes and they wanted like $130 an hour for labor. And I just couldn't bite the bullet this time. So I bought the U-joint for, I think, like 28 bucks. So let's go. Let's tear it apart. Let's see if we can get at it and do it ourselves. I've watched a few videos on YouTube and it doesn't look too terrible. So we should be able to tackle it. Like I said, I've never done it before, but I've never done a lot of the jobs that I've done on this Jeep. And look where we are now. So let's get at it and let's see if we can get this U-joint done. Now, the one I'm looking at is this one right here. And you can see she is, well, let me see if I can get a better angle. But she is moving. So it doesn't sit perfectly in there. It kind of moves a little bit. Yeah, so that's not good. So we're gonna take this apart and fix that. I've checked the U-joints on that end. They're still good because I have rebuilt both drive shafts, front and back, before. I did check all the U-joints in the rear and they are still good as well. So it looks like this is the only culprit right now. And to get at it, we're gonna have to remove the skid plate so that I can remove the U-joint, remove the drive shaft completely. And yeah, I have tried sticking my hands in there. I can get to 2 of the bolts and then I could roll the Jeep forward and get to the other 2, but honestly, that seems like more of a pain in the ass than just taking everything apart and just taking this plate off. So that's gonna be our first step, and then we'll get the drive shaft out. Perfect, so we got the skid plate out. I've got a jack under the transmission, and a jack stand under the transmission, and a jack at the rear just to help it out so that everything kind of sits where it should be, so that it's easier to put the plate back in. And we had to grab the tools out of the Gladiator because these are 6-point, and my other tools that I carry in the TJ are 12-point, and the actual screws there are pretty stripped. So we're gonna have to use the 6-point so that we don't make it worse. But I did test it and it does work, so we will get it off. So let's take that out, and that's pretty much half the battle. Well, we got her out. The caps fell right off, so it was kind of hard to judge exactly what was wrong with it. But it is pretty stiff, and yeah, I don't know. The rest of them I've checked, and these ones are all tight and they all move how they should. So nothing really to worry about on this end. So we're good on our double cardan. And now to get back to this guy. So what I'm gonna do now is remove the clips on both sides. And then we should be able to press it out. And there it is. Now I just get the cap out and we got it out. there is one destroyed U-joint. Now I'm going to clean everything up just to make sure we don't get any dirt into the new one. Excuse my white socks, guys, but these were the warmest ones I could find, and it ain't warm down here. So now, okay, that's half the battle. And what I'm doing is I'm actually holding it into the part that I'm hitting so that nothing falls out, none of the needle bearings actually fall out. Yeah, it seems to be in there. Oh my God, come on, you bastard. All right. Another trick I learned is if it's stiff after you install it, you give the cast area here one good hit and it loosens everything right up. So I think we're ready to go back in. Well, we got the stand back in, the shaft back in. Well, camera died, but we got her in. She's all put back together. I got the skid plate back on. Sorry about the background noise there. But if you guys didn't know, I don't have my own workshop. I work in my underground garage where I live here. So if I can get it done, you can get it done, believe me, because this is probably the most inconvenient place to do it. This is basically like doing it in a Walmart parking lot. You gotta bring all your own tools, bring everything, clean up, and make sure nobody really sees you. So yeah, back to the repairs. So we got the skid plate back in, we got everything buttoned up, drive shaft buttoned up on both sides, and I put in those 4 bolts underneath, or 4 nuts I should say. And you can see our shiny new U-joint is in. So everything is buttoned up. I do need to address the seal on the back there because it is leaking. That is something that I need to do sooner than later, but it isn't like a life and death situation. It's not something that's gonna go on me, hopefully. But like I said, the camera died, and I since then cleaned up and set up my jack in the front here. And why did I do that? Well, first to check wheel bearings. And as you can see, she doesn't have any kind of noise there. So wheel bearings are good. The next thing that I'm going to be checking is ball joints and tie rod. So tie rod, I'm going to check by wiggling the tire by hand. And ball joints, I'm going to also check by wiggling the tire by hand. But I also brought myself this guy. So I'm going to stick this in there and basically pry on the ball joints a little bit just to see if they have any kind of play in them, and we'll be able to tell if any of them are loose. So for tie rods, I basically move it back and forth, left and right. and she seems tight because the whole Jeep is moving and I don't feel any play. For ball joints, oh, there's a little bit of play, just a tiny bit. I don't know if you can hear it. So that could be ball joints, it could be the bearing. Since you don't hear the bearing, it still could be on its way out. That's why I brought this. Top one and the tie rod both feel good because there's no play in either of those. The U-joint has a little bit of play in it though. You can see it moving just a little bit. Not sure how well the camera catches it, but it is moving just a little bit. So I think I am gonna pick myself up. There it is. So I think I am gonna pick myself up a U-joint for the drive shaft here, but it seems everything else is tight. And because there's very minimal play in the wheel and I don't feel it in the ball joints, what I am gonna do is check my bearing when I have to rip everything apart to do that U-joint. And if I need a bearing, I'll just get the bearing and redo the bearing. But at this point, it's not bad enough that I think I need to actually change it because it's not making any noise. So I think we're gonna do the U-joint and then see exactly what else is hidden underneath once we rip it apart. So same thing on this side, left and right. I don't feel anything. Feels pretty tight to me. Other than the actual wheel turning, which I don't understand because the other one's on the ground, but sure. Up and down. Very minimal, very, very minimal. There is a tiny bit, but it's just like the other side. And if we spin it, this one actually is sounding a little bit more rough, but that could be the brake pads rubbing the rotor. It doesn't sound like it's grinding. It just kind of sounds like a smooth rub. So I think that is the brake pads. So I think this side is okay, but I am going to double check the ball joints and the U-joint. No play in the tie rod or the ball joint. She's tight too. So ball joints are good. And U-joint, she's good. So I think we only need to replace one U-joint. So I'm gonna pick myself up a U-joint. We'll bang that up quick in this video. And I think we should be ready to hit the trails after that. But I don't wanna go out and have to replace it on the trail. So I'd rather do it here. So let's go grab a U-joint quick and let's bang that out. It's gonna be like 30 bucks instead of another however many hundreds of dollars at the mechanic. So yeah, let's do it. And if you guys are wondering why I'm not holding the camera, we got a surprise guest behind the camera today. Hey, it's Vinny. But yeah, let's go and let's finish the repairs on this thing because I'm ready to take it off-road. I flipped the Jeep around just so that I'm not working like out in the laneway there and people aren't kind of staring at me and giving me dirty looks. Like I said, no one has ever said anything about me working down here, but I don't want to have an issue. So I picked up the U-joint. It is a spicer, and this is going to replace, sorry about the background noise, going to replace this one. So we've got to basically take our axle nut off, take our caliper and rotor off, and then once we remove the axle, we can take off our hub and we should be pretty much ready to attack the shaft. So let's get at it and let's go. Everything dirty as hell on this Jeep, but what did I expect? This is this thing is half mud. But I did take it for a short drive just to see how it's reacting to that new U-joint, and so far so good. My bearings are definitely not making any noise, so that's a good thing. Brakes still look like they've got good meat on them, so I don't think we're gonna have to address the brakes just yet. Oh, come here, you bastard. Stick them in there for now. All right, now, rotor. One spindle nut or axle nut. So now, okay, it does move, so we're not gonna have to bang it out or anything like that. There is a washer in there, but I think I'm gonna have to wait till I get my bearing out. Well, it seems they were all pretty much rusted in there nice, so I'll have to give them a good cleaning before we stick them back in. But at least the hub is coming off. You can see it's already moving. That's what I like to see. There you go. There's that washer. So we've got the washer for the nut. Here's our bearing. And no noise in the bearing. So the bearing is still good, as I thought. So we'll set that aside. Dust shield, not much left of the dust shield, but we'll set that aside. And the main event. And it looks like my axle is full of water again. So we're definitely going to be changing the fluid soon. But today we're doing the U-joint. So let's focus on the U-joint right now, and we'll worry about the other issues later. Because when you off-road something as hard as I do, it's going to happen. It's going to start breaking down. So yeah, one thing at a time. So to get to this point, it took me literally 20 minutes from when I started jacking it up. And this U-joint is definitely in need of some help. You guys can see here, like, it's hard to move. There we go. You can hear it's not happy. So I wrap this end up just so I'm not scoring it and marring it up, because that's the end that has to go into the diff. And now we have to remove the C-clips, which are like right on the inside there. And then we can start banging it out. So let's go. There's the first one. Well, the last one's gonna be a pain in the butt, eh? There we go. And that's the last one. Now, all we have to do is bang them out like last time. And there's our cap, full of surprises. Awesome. Now back the other way. All right, there's half the job done. Okay, this side was a lot easier. It was way less messing around. And there we have one seized U-joint. We got it out, and you can see it was definitely destroyed. So I don't know why this one failed so early. I have replaced, or I've had them replaced before when I had the drive shafts rebuilt, but I guess it decided to quit on me. So for whatever reason, we've got to do it. And I am kind of happy now because I can add this to a list of things that I can do myself on the Jeep. So we are 1 hour into this job, and this is how far we've gotten. Let's throw the new one in, and actually first I'm going to clean everything up with the brush, and then I'm going to throw the new one in, and then we'll button everything back up. And now the fun part, we get to throw this guy in. Something like that. Put the cap on. We can do the same to the other side. The same thing, I'm gonna lift it up out of the cap in the bottom into the top cap and hold it there. As you can see, it's like one piece now. Okay, so it is my first time doing this, and I dropped one of the caps. As you can see, some of the needle bearings are missing. Not a fun time. I've already replaced most of them because they were missing from about there to there, and now I'm collecting the rest. And I am making sure I clean off each single one before I put it back in. Fun times, fun times. But you can see they come out pretty damn good. So I'm not worried about getting grit in there. It's just kind of tedious doing it. Okay, we got them all back in there. Nice. Okay, there we go. That went a little bit better. Now we can throw on our retaining clips. And there we have it. Both of our clips went in. Nice. Now we just got to do the other side and install this into the other end of the axle shaft. This time, hopefully I don't lose any needle bearings. Okay, so far so good. Well, now that everything is put back together and we have ourselves a shaft again, so now time to put everything back together. that feels good to be done. And I do need to go put my tools away, which are in my cart over there. But I do want to take this thing just for a quick cruise in the underground, just to see how my job went and if it actually makes any noise. So let's go for a quick cruise before I have to put the tools away, and then we'll go out and we'll go for an actual drive. But yeah, I did diagnose both of those U-joints when I first called the mechanic shop and got a quote, and they quoted me $640. So it was 2.5 hours for one and an hour for the other at $130 an hour, plus about 50 bucks per U-joint. So yeah, I just saved myself basically 500 and something dollars. Feels great. And I know that I'll be able to do this job again if I have to in the future. It wasn't too bad. It took me 1 hour to do the drive shaft, 2 hours to do the actual axle shaft. But yeah, not too bad at all. Let's go for a quick cruise in the underground here, and then let's go and we'll take it for an actual drive. I would call that a success. I am happy with the results and how it's driving right now. I think the only thing left to do is go for an actual drive on the road and see how it drives there, and then I think we'll be good to go. Okay, we got our cat food and we've been doing a few errands with the Jeep here, and I have to say she's been working great. And I know that we have to address that milkshake in the axle, and we will. We will address that eventually, sooner than later, most likely this week after I go and send it off-road one more time. We have at least one more off-roading session planned for this weekend before I have to do that, and then I will take it apart and clean out whatever I have to clean out. I do think I need to do a rear pinion seal and possibly a pinion bearing, and to be honest with you guys, that's another thing that I haven't done before, so I will get a quote on it. And even if I don't go through with the quote and I end up doing it myself, at least I'll be able to get the part numbers and I'll be able to see exactly what the issue is, or sorry, what the parts needed are, and then I'll be able to better address it. But I haven't done that job before either. I don't know if I want to attempt it myself because I'm not too sure if I'm gonna have to do anything to the actual gear set, like the way that it's set up. I don't want to put it back together and have it grind, you know what I mean? Like, I've never taken that apart on any vehicle. I have taken apart the actual gears, like I've taken the gears out and I've changed out the different things like that, like the spider gears and all of that. But to be honest with you guys, I don't know. I've never touched the pinion, I've never done anything on that end, so I don't know if I'm gonna have to space it or do any kind of things to anything in there. So if you guys know, let me know, but I also don't want to attempt it and then end up having a grind on me. What are you doing, lady? People do not know how to drive. And I think I just read somewhere on the internet that where I live here is rated as one of the worst places for drivers. Like, they've got one of the highest accident rates in the world, and it is insane. So you basically have to always be vigilant and always be ready for somebody to come out of nowhere and hit you. So once you learn that everybody's out there to get you and to kill you, then you learn how to drive a little bit more defensively. But I have a couple more stops to make. I'm at my next stop right now because I'm just in like a plaza here. So I'm gonna jump into the store, do what I gotta do, and I will catch up with you guys when I get back. But honestly, she has been driving great. One other thing that I forgot to mention is I also did take care of the shifter linkage for my transfer case. My transfer case linkage was giving me a bit of an issue, and I ended up addressing that. So we have our shifter linkage all hooked up again. And what the issue was there is between the actual handle and the transfer case, there is a bar that goes from the handle to a pivot point, and then from the pivot point you have another bar. And that pivot point kept kind of coming apart and it wasn't really sitting properly. And what I ended up doing is I ended up putting it back together, and it was still loose. I ended up putting a like a bungee cord, but not really a bungee cord, more of like that rubber elastic cord around the thing that was coming apart. So I know it's jerry-rigged, I know it's janky, but at the end of the day, if it gets me from having to lay underneath the Jeep for 1 or 2 more trips, then great, because I will address it. As you guys see, I do try to fix everything that goes wrong with the Jeep, piece by piece, slowly. I'm not rich, so parts are something that I cannot go in and buy everything all at once, because if I could, I would throw 1 tons and 40s on this thing a year ago, but that's not the case. So we're gonna keep doing what we can do, we're gonna keep repairing it, and we're gonna keep sending it. So yeah, I'm gonna run into the store right now, and then we're gonna send it back home, and then we're gonna see exactly what's going on. But so far, no noises, everything is good, and I think I am gonna test that transfer case shifter 1 time before I get home, just to see that everything kind of pops into place where it should be and all the gears actually engage, and we should be good from there. And tomorrow, because today is Saturday, tomorrow's Sunday, we will be going off-road, so definitely we have a good one coming for you guys, because it's gonna get muddy. As you guys can see, all the snow melted, and it is pretty much like springtime weather out here. So it's gonna be wet, it's gonna be saturated, it's gonna be one hell of a time out there this weekend. So you won't want to miss that one. So if you guys are new, definitely jump down there, hit that subscribe button, because I've got tons more content coming your way. But right now, I'm gonna run into the store, and I'll see you guys in a minute. Well, and just like that, I think we're gonna wrap this video up. We are finally back. We are finally done for today. The repairs are never done. Not on Big Bird here, unfortunately. But she is good enough to take her off-road. I am a little bit concerned about the milkshake, but at the same time, I already know I need a new bearing and I need a new seal, so it's not like we're gonna do too much damage in there. And I have been looking for axles, so maybe we will be doing axles instead of doing the pinion and the seal. So we'll see. Stay tuned for that. But if you guys want to see this thing go off-road and get completely filthy and send it, then definitely check out the next video. I will be taking this thing out tomorrow, and hopefully I'll see you guys in that video. But I think that's it for today. So if you guys are new around here, please jump down there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. I really apologize for the background noise, but I'm doing the best I can with what I've got, and this is it. So, like I said, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. But until then, ride safe out there. Peace.